time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my grown beautiful family, just thank you so much for the love and support is duly needed. And just to know that we're all, on this journey to be able to heal ourselves and let go of anything that is no longer positively serving us to make room for the bigger and the better. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste, love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when your girl's about to upload your next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love a chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback of the video or you're just up telling me about your empathic gift that has been placed on your life and heading you towards a positive direction. If you feel like the videos are very uplifting to you and informative and just gives you good vibes, you would love to share with a loved one, family, or a friend, or a fellow empath, or needing spiritual guidance or just needing confirmation or validation towards life path or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share. And while you're at it, give you a thumbs up, like, and also share on your social media favorites wherever you see fit. Thank you once again for the love and support. It's greatly appreciated. And I hope that you're able to resonate with the content of my videos. And the music that I'm listening to in the background is called Reiki Healing, Hand Energy Activation, Reiki music to clean your chakras. And I will go ahead and post that link in the description box below. The video I am doing today is called Twin Flame 101. Heyokas as we suit up to be the Millennial Constantine in the most beautiful way. I was watching these apocalyptic movies last night, and I mean these movies I used to wear out. I'm a movie buff, and I noticed a lot of movies that I choose to look at, it kind of resonates with my life in a big, beautiful way. But it's like it hits you different when you're spiritually awakened. So it was like, not saying we're just like, Constantine, but um, what his job is, what his duty is, light work, he's trying to make sure to maintain balance, make sure the dark and creepy and the Uchi Gucci's stay down there where they're supposed to be. And, the heavenly stuff that stays on here. But, I know he committed suicide at one time in the movie. Which was very beautiful to me. I know not about him committing suicide, but I understand the things that was going through. I can totally relate to it because it was like we watched Legion last night, which really like hit me, like gut punched me. And it's like allowed me to really see the things that are going on right now. I've watched this movie like back to back to back. Like I can say I've probably watched it about 1,000 times. And then it really tells me it was like a wake up factor to prepare us for the things that are coming and stuff like that. When the girl's having the baby, she really didn't want the baby. That baby wasn't supposed to be born. That reminds me a lot of the things that my mom went through when she was bringing me into the world. It was not, her pregnancy wasn't planned. My dad and her had a very toxic relationship. Um, it was basically he asked her not to abort me at that, whatsoever, just being able to try to maintain of keeping me, but things fell through and it didn't happen that way. But it allowed me to really allow myself to see things really. It's like life imitating art, imitating life. When you go through a lot of things in your life, and there are certain things that you can watch and you're like, wow, this speaks volumes to me. Being able to see that we're like those, Constantines all around the world. We're trying to, maintain balance throughout the world. You're not trying to buy your way into, heaven or anything like that, but you're doing this job. And then when I seen it and when I was looking at it, this did not remind me of the things that I go through. There was the twins, they were both psychic. The one didn't believe in all that stuff, and the other one was very into it, and then sacrificed the life. And the life, the death of the sister wasn't really uh everything wasn't, everything is not what it seemed. And there was a lot of things that I can agree with. There was things that, when me and my dad were severed, we had a very strong telepathic communication that really, freaked my family out at times because they're knowing there is no way of me knowing these different things about what was going on with my dad, but yet I always knew. So it was like I was like trying to compose myself yesterday because my kids were like, Mom, what's wrong? So it really related to a lot of things in my life that I can really relate to that was going on. I always used to think there was like a little demented, very demented back in the day. Because I mean, I watched horror movies growing up. It was like my first movie I watched when I was like 7 or 8 years. No, was it 7 or 8? It was like the Exorcist movie, and it really like tripped me out. Like, hey, this really happens, and Evil Dead, and Return of the what was it? Return of the Dead or whatever. It was like the parody of the Evil Dead. Stuff like that. I found very entertaining, going through those things. And my mom was like, how is she able to watch these and be okay? It was like a lullaby to me, watching all these things. So it just allowed me to prepare my life to all the dark things in the world. Um, why, even though when I was going through physical transition to be who I am now, there's a lot of things that went bumping in the night, because at first it's like my ex used to think I was crazy until he started seeing certain things that would happen around me. And he was like, nope, I ain't see that. And I was like, you did too see that? No, I did not. He said, but I'm about to leave now. I said, damn, you gonna leave us here? And he was like, well, you're going with me, but no, I'm not. No. And he was like, I said, but you seen that? And he was like, no, he would not. Mm-mm. It would be things that I've told y'all about before. I could be channeled over to somewhere and being able to help people when they were fighting their own demons. It was like, whether it was addiction, abuse, some kind of situation that put them in that dark place, was helping me channel myself to help take part in like taking that back. Being able to smell the strong smell of sulfur where it can really burn your nose. It's like you have a what is it, a brain freeze, like if you eat ice cream too fast, and that sulfur would be that strong to where it can make your that cavity, you see how I was even strengthened up. It's like, dad, I can feel it again. But going through all that, but a lot of us are researching. A lot of us went through that time of abuse where, growing up, it wasn't easy being who we were because we seen a lot of things, we felt a lot of things. And it was like with my situation, I was like constantly in night terrors all the time, and sleepwalking. And it would get so bad to where, I mean, I'll be hysterical where I'm using the bathroom on myself at like a young age because I couldn't understand why I was going through certain things. Why did I see certain things? I was younger, and I could really relate to the young Keanu Reeves when they showed him going through so many things. He wanted to take his life, because he didn't feel like, he was scared and he thought it was something mental, but also it was nothing mental, but it was a gift of his. A lot of us has grown up and we didn't know if there's anybody else that can relate to the things that we go through. Knowing these life altering situations that's been in our lives has really, it was like basically set in stone that you're going to be doing something that a lot of people uh, are very tabooish about. They don't want to feel like this is our reality, but it's like if you can see all the hell raising in the world, you can see God as well throughout his work as well. There's some people don't believe in God or whatever, but they believe in a higher being. I'm not a religious type of person, but I believe in God. There's a lot of things during that era, like I can't even watch Passion of the Christ without going into a convulsion damn near, because it'll remind me a lot of things I should not remember from that time. And there's a lot of things that was in that movie that it wasn't correct. Just like I don't like reading the Bible, because I said a lot of things were altered. But if that's what somebody wants to believe in, I respect that. But I know what my beliefs are. I know what I've seen. I know what I ventured off in, and remember from those lives, from that period. So there was a lot of things that's it's been altered to where it can control people in a certain way, or they wanted people to see things in a certain way. And I respect it. I don't try to convince anybody of that. I have my views and they have theirs. And it's just like really watching those yesterday, because between watching that and what was it, that one and Legion, it really reminded me of those things, and being able to see the Archangel Gabriel and the Archangel Michael and all that stuff. And Michael was sitting up here saying that you did what you did what he asked of you. I did what was needed. And that jerked me back like, whoa. Me and my kids were like, whoa, that is like so deep. And it's true. A lot of times, we do what is asked of us, but a lot of times we feel the need to do something else. And sometimes it might feel like you're going back on what you were told, but then, you know, is maybe a lot of times where it's not like you're defying God or anything like that. I don't want to think of it that way. But there's a lot of times that they ask you to get a job done, but you have your way of doing it. Basically, that let me go ahead and say that to that, because I don't want nobody feeling like I'm disrespecting God. I don't do that. Um, and it's just like we're being prepared for all these things. There's a lot of things we see in life that people, if we be vocal about it, we looking at us like, have you been to a therapist? Have you got yourself checked? Because there's a lot of times I have got in contact with people, and I was explaining this to my daughter last night because I forgot what part of Georgia it was where this boy was going to Georgia Tech, and it was like things his way his mom was talking about it, because I know there's a whole bunch of videos about that where the boy had got accepted to Georgia Tech, and he was, under a scholarship for football, and his mom was going already, and it really broke my heart because his mom was already homeless, and she finally got some money to get her place in get herself in a hotel, and next thing you know, her son started talking about these weird symbols he's seeing, people's face morphing, and not everybody can take spiritual awakenings for what it is. A lot of times it can make you feel like you're losing your mind, but that child was young. So it was like he got introduced to being out the matrix. And he was telling his mom, not everything is what it seems. These things, I'm seeing symbols all over the place. And, these things, he was really trying to talk to his mom, and his mom was like, what's wrong with you? What is going on with you? But she don't realize, as her son is taking his spiritual awakening, she's going through her spiritual awakening with dark night of the soul at the same time. And I'm just sitting here like in tears, like, because this woman is really, and people are saying, look, a spiritual awakening has just happened. And, and she's really trying to understand the things that went on. But where it wasn't that child wasn't able to really accept that, and it really put him in a dark place to where he just jumped in front of a train, because she was looking all over for her son. And he was like, and she really felt bad, like, if I didn't tell my son to go get this blanket for me downstairs or whatever, this would have never happened. But it was like, if things are meant to be, it meant to be. But I know as a parent, it wouldn't be able to sit right with me either, especially knowing that your child is no longer with you in that form. But it's just a lot of things are taking place in our life where it's preparing us. A lot of these movies is speaking a lot of volumes on the things that are occurring in life every day. Things that we are not really trying to, figure out. Because just like I see the parts on Get Out, um, where people are altering people's heads. I try not to talk about that, but I've seen just the way people are in this industry at times. They don't act right. They don't act the same as they were. I'm not trying to put my name on anything, like that, but I'm just saying they don't act the same way. You see certain things, and it's just like, people think it's all glitz and glamour when you got all this money and you're able to get these extravagant things, but I would never sell my soul for nothing. I need that. So it's just like when I see certain things like this, it's very sad, where it just seems like they're doing that. And watching Get Out, and Us got alternate universe, you run around with there's another twin of you some daggone where in a parallel universe, all that crazy junk. You never know. It's just like life imitating art is reflecting somewhat of the truth that people are not willing to, put their finger on and say, yes, it's true. Me, I'm gonna speak my truth. you know I see a lot of different things, and it's just like, it is what they think it's like it is what it is, or if you speak on it, oh, you're crazy or whatever. You see the truth. There's a lot of people walking around comfortable with being carbon copies, or they're comfortable with being just like the next person. We weren't meant to be like that. Even though it might be nice that, when you see people doing all these beautiful things, and on these nice trips and stuff like that, I try not to get mad about stuff like that, because I felt like they earned it. My dad was a public figure. He was able to do a lot of things, but also the situation, just for him being where he was and the platform he stood on, there was a lot of people that was close that really didn't like it, you know and somewhat, I'm just going off of what I see, and what I feel when it came to that, especially when I'm dealing with the inside. of that situation with him. There was a lot of people that had their hands and stuff that they had no way of being in that just because the way my dad was. And they tried to make sure he was miserable at that. So, all these different things is allowing us to be somewhat of that Constantine. You know, we're making the world right. We're trying to, balance everything out. We're healing ourselves. Well, we're healing ourselves. We're helping others on the outside as well, where it's making a domino effect all across the world. We see a lot of things that we don't like seeing, and it's just like the way I've seen stuff just change, lately. Everybody has their point of view on how they see a lot of things that goes on in the world. And it's like when I seen the thing about Australia, like I've said before, I got a many of my soul family there. Some I still speak to, some I haven't heard from in a while that I wish I had some kind of connection with, that I could be able to, hey, is everything okay? But everybody has their life, so I hope and pray they're all in good peace, and able to be where they're doing whatever. But it's just being able to see how certain things can go into haywire, and then just the act of love, just the act of prayers, because you wanted so much to be able to help certain parts of the life. Like, I don't know if it's like different kind of seasons in different continents or whatever. I'm not sure, because I'm just like, this is wintertime. How is all this stuff going on? Why are they having all these wildfires? It's like cold as hell here. Well, cold as the Arctic's ass. Let me just say it that way, because it was just a few months ago, uh, California was going through that. All these different things, and being able to see people's love of, people are constantly praying. I see on different, platforms for us, where there's so many people, wanting prayers, they're doing good vibes and that way. And then next, I'm seeing so many different posts. Like I got this one picture, I meant to put it in my community page, um, where it has a little kangaroo. You can see him smiling, and it almost got me a tear jerk. So I was like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. And it's like, thank you for the love and prayers. I think that's what it said. Um, or, all those different things is where, even though they lost so many lives and animals' lives, even though it was just really heartbreaking, I can't even imagine. I don't even want to know what they were going through at that time. And knowing just for, prayers, a lot of times, for people to believe that there is, a higher power when it comes to love and everything. Certain things have to transpire just for you can is basically saying, I can show you better than I can tell you. And it was very beautiful, even though it was heartbreaking to see how many, animals and people have lost their lives as well as their homes. It was really heartbreaking, but being able to see the power of love can be able to stop something like that was so beautiful, that was truly needed. And it was one guy, he was crying in his house, and they showed a post of him, and he just took his phone and said, look, thank you for the prayers, look what your prayers have done. And you just see like showers, thunderstorms and stuff just happening. They were really happy about that. And I got emotionally happy, and I said, thank you, because it's like, when you can't do anything from where you're at, like, financially or whatever, you try to send the best love towards people like that, because it's like with us as being empaths, it really affects us in that way, just to be able to see that. That's why a lot of us um can't watch the news. It's like my dad was like, stop watching the news. You can't save everything all the time, and that can be too much on a person. You know, and certain things like that. His went on that, when I really looked at that movie last night, I said, this is reminding me so much of the things that I can really compare my life to that. Not everything, but there's a lot of things that I can really relate to that was coming to that movie. That I was like, dang, that's really deep when I think about Legion. And then right back to that, we were watching Constantine, and it was just like, wow, it's amazing how you'll start seeing things when you're awakened. You're getting that confirmation, like this has always been in front of you, but it just took you to have to be on a deeper mind state of mind, or a different, you know vibe, just for you to understand what was being mirrored to you, what kind of confirmations this was telling you about. All these things that I watched It's like if anybody was to come in my house, I got OCD on top of ADD. I got all these different type of movies in my house, and they're all in alphabetical order. I'll go crazy if they're not in alphabetical order. But there's a lot of comedies, but there's a lot more that has to do with supernatural, um, but more of horror, that I really have accumulated for almost 20 years. So, there's a lot of things that I really gravitated towards that really told me about my life before I even knew about my life. But, so I'm not going to try to dwell on that, just doing my videos and bringing light to y'all. So, let me go ahead and give a post notification shout out to Lost Puppy as well as Lisa Yoko. Much love to you. Welcome to the fam. Please drop me a line. I love to get to know you, each and every one of y'all. It's truly a blessing for us to be spiritually connected like that. And and our sub base is really growing by the days. It's truly a blessing. But drop me a line, give me a thumbs up, share, hit the notification button so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. If you don't feel comfortable or dropping me a line here, I would love to give you a post notification shout out. But if you don't feel comfortable, but you really do want to talk to me one on one, you can always find me at Facebook Messenger. Not the page. I'm not, accepting any Facebook page acceptance, but I would love to be able to be connected with you on Messenger. I can help you out the best way I can. If not, I can send you in direction to help you out the best way I can. So I hope y'all have a blessed, splendiferous week. I haven't used that word in a long time. Splendiferous week is past splendid. Um, and prayers and love to you all. And I pray that whatever you're trying to heal from or release helps you out of 10, a million times fold. Whatever you're trying to bring into your reality comes more than what you asked for, and it comes sooner than you expected it. Know you are loved, highly blessed, and truly favored. And knowing there's always somebody out there praying for your better days. And make sure you give out love, light, positivity, as well as prosperity vibes, frequency, and words. You never know, all those things can really take somebody a long way. And I'll see you on my next video. Much love. Peace.